You staying home tonight?
I hadn't planned on it, no.
Plan on it.
Dear Bob Rice, if you're listening.
Hey, we got a song for you.
No, the first thing we need to do is you guys need to explain what the show is. Because it's very clearly identified as a show. Yeah, like it's really... So maybe Johnny or Allie or Nick could... Or not Nick, because Nick doesn't have a mic. Allie, if you could just explain what the show is.
This show.
Yeah, this show.
One. Okay, are we going?
Is it live? We look live. Yeah.
Recording? Okay.
Yeah. Wait, all together?
Professional.
All together. 1, 3, 2, 1. Go. No, I thought...
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show with Edmund Mitchell.
And
guests. So, let's introduce the guests. Start over here.
Hi, I'm Nick.
Hi, I'm ALOB.
I have my own mic.
You have your own mic.
My name is Johnny Phillip.
Hi, I'm Edmund. I'm so nervous about the waveforms here always.
Well, that second one, that one's real low.
Yeah, who's...
And the last one,
I think that's me. Yeah, I got the low one.
Yeah,
No, you got 3. Who's 2?
I'm 2.
Oh, you got to turn that 2 up.
Yeah. Turn up.
You got a real gain-hungry
Hello.
mic.
Testing.
Yeah, I need a little bit more.
Testing.
3.
You want some more juice?
Yeah,
there?
give me some more juice.
Juice.
Oh, there it is.
There it
Whoa,
is.
too much juice.
Oh, it's
Juice?
nice. Oh, it's
Juice
getting
or
red.
juice?
I like juice.
Too much juice.
We're all
He's just asking.
juiced,
Too much.
too. At some point.
Okay.
So the show is where we just bring up really controversial topics and we just get people's takes on it, good and bad, and then we tell each other when we're wrong, and we just say, no, that's horrible. I cannot believe that you thought
That's
that.
totally what the show is about.
So Edmund, did you want to start with that one?
Yeah, Johnny brought up a good one earlier.
Yeah.
How's everybody feel about abortion? I'm just kidding. Just cut that out.
Cut that out in post.
Just cut that
We'll
out.
cut that in post. Yeah.
No, this is you guys know Catching
Johnny,
Foxes, Michael Gormley.
Are you going to say
Luke?
this? Are you going to say this is a cover podcast of Catching Foxes? Is that what you're about to say?
It's not what I'm about to say. But I am a fan of Catching Foxes, as are some of you.
Nope,
perhaps,
I'm not.
Perhaps I enjoy Catching Foxes. They had a great question the other day. It was like first 3 things you would do if you were Pope. And I was
we need to introduce the new guest, because
Come on,
all of you guys
Johnny.
have been on the
Come
podcast,
on,
but
Johnny.
ALOB has not. So ALOB,
Allie, I believe you were
If you could
Does this
explain,
mean I have to start this question?
no. If you could just explain, like we were talking about
Who are
earlier,
you?
the get to know you, the common
Yeah.
get to know you
Right.
questions, like favorite cereal,
Right.
favorite toothpaste,
Right.
worst
Ooh.
mortal sin.
Yeah.
Right.
Very easy.
What was the first one?
Who are you? Where are
It's
you
like
from?
that youth group kid that's always like, I forgot the question.
Yeah.
That was me. What am I? Who am I?
Yeah, who are you? Where are you from?
Who are you?
I'm Andrew Laubacher. Am I supposed to look at the camera or no?
No, you can look at me.
Yes, yeah. Okay, good.
Actually, if you could only look at me.
Yeah, so I'm from Southern California, Ventura, and
we get it.
California.
California.
From Southern California, it's perfect all the time, like everyone talks about, and it's true.
Is it true that only beautiful people come from California?
Most
I've heard that.
likely, most of the time.
But you'll give me a pass, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you could
So
definitely.
you
could live
do
there.
music full time.
Yep.
You're a musician.
Yep.
Performer.
Yeah.
And
I lead worship.
Professional juggler.
Right.
Okay. How long have you been doing worship? And then, like, where did that start?
Yeah, so I've been, I guess, leading technically since I was 18 at my parish, and then I went to Franciscan University, led worship there, and then started playing Steubenville conferences with Dr. Bob Rice, and then started getting calls
Such
to
a
go
fan.
play places, and then it became a full-time ministry.
The youth conferences or just
The
any
Steubenville youth conferences. We did the adult ones as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was lit, as the
How do you
kids
know
say.
Johnny? How did you meet Johnny?
I think
You
on
heard
Tinder?
of Craigslist?
On Craigslist. Oh, Tinder.
No, sorry.
Okay.
wrong Johnny.
Get your...
There's more than
Yeah, I was
What?
thinking of John Bertucci, my electric guitar
I
player.
love him. What a talented man.
So, how did you really
What's
meet?
our age range of listeners?
Over 21.
Okay,
For
so
sure.
we can go
21 to
PG.
22.
Yeah, yeah. You can go
Exactly.
PG-13.
We can go
Sure.
PG.
Is that a Dream Theater reference too that you just made?
Me?
Dream
No.
Theater?
John Petrucci?
No, Bertucci.
No, I know who you're thinking of.
Some people think. Some people.
Bertucci.
It's Bertouche. I call him Perdouche.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I can't actually say what I
Phonetically,
call him.
Bertucci. We
So
met
You're in
through
the
Dave
know.
Moore.
Okay.
When did we meet?
We were playing at Jericho at SMU a couple years ago,
Yes.
and we were like, "Wow, you're handsome." And then I'm just kidding.
Wait, so you
To
both
each
said that
other.
to each other?
At the same time,
But you're not from
I
California.
never said that.
No, it was SMU.
I'm not
in
on record as
Dallas.
saying that. I just want to.
Oh, I'm on record. Sign me up. Yeah, and then and he was like, "Hey, let's be friends. And I was like, okay. That was it.
That's definitely not how it went, but we'll just pretend
You
that's
needed
how
a
it went.
drummer, and
Yeah.
Johnny was cheap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
And he was decent.
Yeah, cool.
Decent.
Wait, so why?
I'll take that.
I actually do not know why. What event are you guys playing here? Is it the 635?
We did that Tuesday.
Okay.
Yes.
I played Saturday at their what was it called? Lock-in?
Lock-in.
It's a terrifying thing to call a church event.
I know, right?
Let's go to the lock-in.
Locked in
Really
all
locked
night.
in.
Good luck, kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
I thought that as a kid. I really did think that they locked.
Well, don't
the
they
doors.
really lock? They do lock the doors.
we
don't
never
they?
did that in California.
We never locked the doors when we ran lock-ins,
didn't lock
but
the
I think
doors.
I think that is how they started, though.
They're
Yeah.
spiritually
Started by
locked
doing
in.
that.
You're spiritual, like you are.
Like
here.
you're
Yeah, that's
you're
the
all
gospel
in.
message,
You're signed up.
for sure.
So
And
you
then we're
guys are
playing this weekend too.
Yeah, we're playing this weekend in
Where?
Michigan, the Diocese of Lansing. So I'm doing an event there. And so it made sense because Johnny's playing drums and a guy, Michael
Visser.
who's
Yeah.
playing bass. So I was just like, well, I'm going to be here in Dallas, stay for the week, fly here to Michigan.
Nice.
It's kind of nice. I don't have to bounce back and forth. And then
what'd you major in at Franciscan?
theology and philosophy.
Okay.
And then
Did you know, like in high school, did you have dreams of doing music full
Oh
time?
gosh, no.
No?
I mean, I was a little pagan child.
Yeah.
So my conversion was at 18. I really loved rock and roll. And like
What kind of rock and roll?
I
Like
mean,
Scorpion?
like
AC/DC?
Zeppelin. No, yeah, well, yeah, like
Scorpion,
Zeppelin,
I was gonna
AC/DC,
say,
Black
yeah.
Sabbath. Then I smoked a lot of weed, so reggae was really cool. Been surfing my whole life, so it's like you smoke weed and you listen to reggae in between surf sessions.
Man, churches in
Have a
California
burrito.
are wild.
Yeah. No, and then
So this is
yeah.
when you're doing
He's
worship in high
describing
school?
his high school lock-in.
No, I didn't. I didn't
was
go
his
to
high school
I didn't
That was
go
his
to
high school
Oh,
lock-in.
I guess I did
Very
go to church.
different.
But
So,
I
but you
had
said you were
to.
playing worship in high school, though, right?
I played in the worship band on Sunday
Okay.
because I had to.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I had to go to mass, then I might as well distract myself and play some Hillsong worship licks.
Oh yeah, I was similar.
I've heard of
Yeah.
your song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, just I would altar serve just so I didn't have to dress up to church,
Nice.
and then I would go to youth group just so I could meet girls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's very
I usually
common.
didn't
very
like them.
practical. That's very
Yeah,
common. That's your
I think
story
that's
too.
very yeah, the same.
Wow.
Exactly the same.
So did you? But in high school, you did want to do music, but just you wanted to do rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to like do with my life, but
Yeah.
my conversion at 18 like shifted all of that music from that just secular world, playing at parties and just trying to,
Yeah.
I mean, I studied music theory at community college, at 2 years of community college, and then went to Franciscan. But yeah, that transition, I literally went from like Lil Wayne and like Young Jeezy and Akon and some like gangster rap to rock to reggae, and then all of a sudden had my conversion, and like that's right when like I think it was Aftermath came out, Hillsong,
Oh,
and like
yeah.
Mighty to Save was getting
Yeah.
huge, and I just like literally transitioned to all I listened to was praise and worship.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really sing at the time either, so
Yeah, I had the same experience. I was in my little red Acura Integra with the sunroof back, just
yeah.
like
Nice.
just like rocking to some Hillsong. I forget
yeah.
what the song Mighty to Save, but there was another one.
Break free, say break free.
There was another one.
Break free, get up, dance.
That was my first.
it?
I was
But
like,
that was when-
this
But
is
also
awesome.
Switchfoot. Switchfoot was really
Yes.
big.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like,
my
I was
band,
really
dude.
into Switchfoot.
John
Yeah.
Foreman's my guy.
So what was it about Bob Marley that had the conversion happen at 18?
about Bob?
Bob
Yeah, what
Marley?
was it about Bob Marley and the reggae that really you
Oh,
came
I
to
got-
Jesus through him?
Yeah, right.
Or was it something else?
I mean, kind of. Actually, Bob, I guess, kind of helped me. I mean, I got
Not
caught,
Bob Rice, but Bob.
Yeah, no, Bob Marley. I mean, I got caught with weed by cops and was in the back of a cop car, and I was like, I probably shouldn't do this anymore. And I wasn't like, oh, I need Jesus. It was just like, dude, that really sucked. Had to go
Yeah.
to court, missed my court
Yeah.
date, and all that jazz, and then got invited to go to a youth conference in Arizona, and it was Matt Maher, Audrey Assad. And in worship, just had a life-altering experience.
Was that a
So-
conference
It
or
was a student conference.
nice in Arizona?
Yeah, I've been to 3 of them. Jackie Francois was my youth minister my freshman year.
Gotcha.
She's a Catholic speaker, and so she took me to my first one. I mean, I think I went to 3, and it was my third one that finally got me.
Yeah. Dang. So
Yeah.
what happened after that? Then you decided to go to community college for
Yeah, I
music?
did community college. Yeah, for music theory because I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and then I just fell in love with my faith. And then it was pretty lonely. Like no one else in Ventura was really living out their faith. There's a couple guys that God brought to me, some brothers that were really trying to live out our faith together. And then, long story short, I did not want to go to Steubenville, Ohio, because nothing's in Ohio.
Yeah.
Like, does anyone live in Ohio? I didn't
No,
even know.
no
like,
one.
No.
there's seasons
Zero
and weather and
people.
stuff, and
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not about it.
Yeah.
And then, I just started watching. I watched EWTN a lot. like an
Interesting.
unhealthy amount. You
Yeah.
know, and I mean,
What
most of the
were the programs that you were
most of
watching?
the programming so bad, but it was amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
I loved Mother Angelica.
Yeah.
I loved, the Franciscan Presents. I loved Super Saints.
Yeah.
And Life on the Rock, like, is still my dream. If someone's listening to this, get ALOB on Life on the Rock.
Never know.
I wanna live
My life on the rock.
Yeah.
I was just watching Dom's
Okay,
episode
here we
yesterday.
go.
Dom's on Life on the
Dom
Rock.
was on Life on the Rock like a month after Sarah and him got married.
That's
Like
incredible.
a month after.
So we have an
He's
in.
my manager. I need to talk to him.
We got an in.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. When I went to his website, and I
No
was just
way.
looking around, I'm like,
Dude, that just blew my
Dom
mind.
was on the Rock. Yeah,
Dude, I want
on
to live
the
my
rock.
life on the Rock.
I learned to live
So
my
anyway,
life.
I watched that, and then I realized, like, man, there's really not a lot of young adult community there, and I want to go to Franciscan and experience that faith life.
Yeah.
And yeah, that really transformed my life. And then I experienced God, the Holy Spirit there, and I definitely wasn't a quote charismatic before, and I wouldn't say I am now, but I'm just Catholic. But I experienced, just the supernatural on a
Was it
regular
the
basis.
Life in the Spirit retreat or
Yeah, I was like born in the Spirit,
Yeah.
and then just the continual FOPs, the festival praise.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. And then I started playing the Steubenville conferences with Bob.
Yeah.
So it was never something I really sought out to like lead worship. It was never like, when I go into conferences, like I want to be like them. It was like,
Yeah.
y'all are weird. Like I'm definitely never going to do that.
What was, because there are a lot of times people that reach out through the internet and say, I'm all alone, kind of like what you were
Yeah.
saying, like, I have no one.
Right.
And they reach out to stuff like this because it makes them feel like, at least here's someone else that's similar to
Right.
me right now. What got you through besides Mother Angelica?
Yeah.
Like, what got you? I mean, Jackie Francois was your youth minister.
She
at the
was.
time.
She left, and then I had two youth ministers, Karen Reynolds and Aaron Barta. They're both connected with Franciscan at some point.
Yeah.
I hung out with them a lot, and I asked a lot of questions. My faith was very much up and down. I mean, I really watched a lot of debates between atheists and Christians, and I just really loved the
Yeah.
intellectual side of
Yeah.
faith. And so, it was in the beginning. So it was like I'd hear like Richard Dawkins like say something and be like, oh. I
I'm
don't
out.
believe anything anymore,
Yeah.
and then I would need to, I'd go get help or talk to a
Who else
priest.
did you ever get into, like Ravi Zacharias? or
Oh,
anything like
Robbie's
that?
my boy.
Oh
dude.
gosh, dude.
John Lennox,
Yeah.
William Lane Craig. I mean, I can go off.
Yeah.
With
Yeah,
Father
yeah.
Robert Spitzer, PhD physicist.
That was my high school experience too. All Ravi Zacharias, like anything he put out, I would listen to.
Yep, I got a bunch of his
William
stuff.
Lane Craig, yeah, like a ton of Catholic apologetics too.
Yeah.
Like,
I loved Tim Staples for a little
yes.
bit, dude. I loved him. He's so
Dude, I
funny.
got super
But
into all
sometimes
that.
the problem was I was getting so stuck in my head that
Yep.
it wasn't
Yep.
really practical. And I've
Yep.
kind of come to I still love apologetics. I just bought $70 worth of books the other day on Amazon, which
Yeah.
is really dumb.
It's my life.
But like I'm finding more and more that like I love that stuff, but I think that relationship, and like actually making time to communicate with God is almost just as effective or more effective, because you look at these saints that were so simple and like they did not have the ability to receive information at such a rapid rate that we do now,
Yeah.
and they were like crazy holy.
Yeah.
I mean, like dudes that literally opened the door, like Andino Bassett, is that his name? He's I think he's a saint now. Literally, he was a doorkeeper at a monastery, and he
Solanus
was like,
Casey? He
Oh,
did the
is
same
that might be
thing.
him.
Door opening makes a lot of sense.
I need to do that.
Yeah.
Do they have that here
Just
in
go to a
Dallas?
church and just
Open
open,
the
a
door.
Yeah, I just feel like super happy.
Open all of the
We
doors.
have a full ministry
Dallas,
just
yeah.
devoted to
No,
opening
wait. Do you know
doors.
Louis Giglio? And
Love Louis.
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 He's a pastor at a mega church in Atlanta, right?
Yes,
Atlanta?
you're right, yeah.
And
Passion.
that's like his whole thing is like, I'm just a dedicated door opener. Like that's
Yeah.
what he just wants to be, is just a door.
He also
opener,
preaches
door
to like
holder.
mass amount of
Yeah.
human
So
beings.
also he's a mega preacher, but that
There's that
ministry
too.
of like
Secondary.
that small like what? Yeah. he
It's like
loves
the
that.
Therese of Lisieux, right? Little thing, or is that? her?
Yeah, the
Little
little
Things of
flower.
Great
Yeah,
Love?
yeah. My experience, Allie and Johnny, I'd be interested to get your take, but mine was the same. Like, I went to Franciscan through apologetics and like looking at the back of a Scott Hahn
You went to
book.
Franciscan?
Yeah, I went through.
You guys
became
graduated
best
like
friends.
close time
Yeah,
period.
yeah,
Really?
Yeah. So
13.
2011.
Ah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
when that's when I went.
Yeah.
Dang, dude, I just missed you.
But I was the same way. Like, I was carrying around apologetics books and I was very intellectual. And then when I got to Franciscan, I was like, man, some of the people here don't know as much as I do, but they are way better people than I am. And I was just like, shoot, man. Like,
I actually had some of the biggest doubts at Franciscan, which I don't think people
Really
would probably
interesting.
know. But studying philosophy and theology,
Yeah.
man, you're just reading like the biggest questions all the time.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
sometimes I was like, what the heck? And then I'll go and talk to a professor who is brilliant.
Yes,
And
yeah.
he'll calm me down. You know?
Yeah, yeah. But for me, it was looking at other classmates who talked about Jesus as if they knew him.
Right.
And I was like, man, like, I'm reading all these books. Like, where is the book where you like encounter Jesus the way they're talking about him. And so that it was really like that. That's what really started for me, like trying to have a personal relationship with God at all. Because it was just like this moral, obligatory relationship, intellectual relationship.
Yep. Which I think is what most people see now. I mean, more people I talk to very much see what we can't do and think it's just a bunch of no's. And I'm like, yo, this is actually a greater yes that actually is really freeing. And most of the times I'm preaching or leading worship, I try and share with kids that, man, there's so many people that are young and love God, and they're logical and they're normal. Like I bet we could all go and hang out and have a beer somewhere and like go see a movie or like play some ping pong. It's like I feel like people think right now if you become a Christian or become Catholic, like you can't do anything fun. Yeah, and it's like that is so not my experience. Franciscan was like, dude, we're in the middle of nowhere, and I had more fun there doing random crap, running through the woods and like shooting birds with airsoft guns, trying to survive for a week. Yep. Which only lasted about 6 hours.
God.
Yep.
And like weird stuff like that.
All birds and
Lord and Savior Jesus Christ through that dead bird.
I was hunting, dude. Trying to survive.
Johnny, Allie, what was your? I kind of am not familiar with what. Actually, Johnny, what was your experience of the faith and like your conversion witness or growing up? I actually don't know this.
It's actually pretty similar to ALOB's. I was. Eric Wilkes.
Oh, look, it's Eric Wilkes.
What a nice surprise.
What the heck?
This is fantastic.
So many good people.
We have a
walking into
cameo.
A live podcast show. But come say hello.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about your conversion
It's a very
experience.
handsome shirt. Tell us about your worst mortal sin.
Yeah. We're just going around, just sharing deeply.
Something you're still dealing with. Something raw.
Make sure
Something
you're
that
in the
happened
camera.
recently.
Oh, do I need
Yeah.
Is there a shot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi.
There it is.
He has a great voice.
Hi. I
He
just
does have
got
a very
here.
good voice.
Thank you. Which question am I answering?
Who are you?
The
Who
mortal
are you?
sin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that too.
Easily eating too much candy. I mean,
Yeah.
it's Halloween,
Yeah.
so that's just
Very
fresh on my
topical.
mind.
It's nice.
It was very relevant, very raw.
Yeah. So
It was very raw.
Must be a
I wanted to dive deep. Yeah.
Let's lay hands on Eric. Eric,
Thank you.
Can we just-
All right. Are we? So I was going to the bathroom. So I'm gonna
We
go
won't.
do
We
that.
won't hold you up, man. We won't hold you
But,
up.
hey,
we gotta go to
Eric,
mass.
guys.
so good to
Yeah,
see you.
masses soon. Thanks for letting me just
Anytime,
stop
man.
in.
Anytime.
Okay.
Hey,
yeah. Well, let's
Eric.
make it a thing.
You're great.
Okay.
Okay. Just receive it.
Enjoy
I'm
the
just gonna
bathroom.
receive it. Thank you so much.
Enjoy the
Perfect.
bathroom, Eric.
Thank
enjoy
you.
the bathroom.
Isn't there a Bible verse about how to use a restroom?
Yes, in Deuteronomy.
Beautiful.
Wow, Allie just
Deuteronomy.
ready to
Hilarious.
pull
I
that out.
knew somebody here would
I
know
think
it.
it's
Okay.
Deuteronomy.
Here's your mic.
There's
Thank you,
a
Nick.
3 in it, like 13.
Are you like
Or
a Bible
maybe
medium?
23.
Are you like a Bible
Like,
psychic?
I just, sense
Like,
that there's like a 3 in
No,
it.
you're
Yeah.
literally sitting here going like,
No,
I'm
but
getting
I think-
Deuteronomy.
I'm thinking really
I'm getting like a
hard.
3.
Look, wait, let me look it up.
Is your
You're
uncle
actually-
dead? Do you have a?
There was a moment where
I've got it right here.
I was with a friend and we were doing a Bible study for kids, and we just told them to close their eyes and we're going to pray. We're going to open up the Word of God. And we started with 2 Kings, where the she bears come out and
Yes.
tear
Oh my
42
gosh.
kids to pieces.
Yeah.
23. Is that a 3?
The anointing
23,
fell is what I'm trying to say.
12 to
Exactly,
14,
yeah.
verse 12.
There was a 3
Those
in it.
kings. Why did they have
You
to
mean
be
you
she
received
bears?
nothing from that?
Why did they have to be
From
she bears? Why couldn't they have
the
been
Baldy?
he bears?
Go up, bald head. Go up, bald head.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
Second Kings, I
gosh.
think it's Second Kings.
This is awesome.
Yeah,
How have I
yeah.
never seen this?
How to go to the toilet?
Deuteronomy
Read this?
23.
I don't
Yeah.
think I can read that without
No,
laughing.
read it.
I really
Read
don't
it.
think I
You
can.
can be serious.
I'll try. Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verses 12 to 14.
Word of God, remember.
Yeah. You shall have a place outside the camp, and you shall go out to it, and you shall have a trowel with your tools, and when you sit down outside, you shall dig a hole with it, and turn back and cover up your excrement, because the Lord your God walks in the midst of your camp to deliver you and give up your enemies before you. Therefore your camp must be holy, so that he may not see anything indecent among you and turn away from you. So the moral of the story, people,
Biblical.
flush
The word of the Lord.
your
Thanks
toilets.
be to God.
Thanks be to God.
Cannot be more serious about
Yeah,
that.
dig your hole.
Wow.
Wow.
So,
That's
Johnny,
intense.
your high school experience.
Yes, I don't know if we've ever actually talked about this.
That's what this
but
podcast is for. It
this
brings
is
people together.
discovery.
Yeah.
We're learning
It makes-
so much about each
It
other.
makes people open up
Your
and
friendship
connect
is
on a
deeper.
level that
Yeah, we're
otherwise
about
would
to
not have
fall
connected
seriously
on.
in love here. No, my story is actually pretty similar to ALOB's. I was like in a bunch of punk bands. I was smoking weed a lot, like, and it,
Really?
yeah, and
Average partier.
and it was, yeah, and so my conversion really happened at my confirmation retreat when I was 16, and I just like really fell in love with Jesus and felt like he was calling me higher than that, and that
What
was
was
really,
it though? Like, was it during adoration or was it during a talk? Or
you know,
small
honestly,
group?
I can't really pinpoint a moment. I remember feeling like the call to use the gift of music and of relationships just for ministry. And so that was like, you know, kind of the conversion moment, I guess. I met Jesus from a young age, like, you know, both my parents work in ministry. And so that was really kind of like a reconversion, like a recommitment to that faith.
So it was
But-
like coming back to something that you knew you should have been doing.
yeah. Well, and I think it was, just like, you know, the temptation that like Satan puts on us with like small sins is like, you know, adding little and little and little isn't that bad. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh man, like, you know, how did I get here?
Yeah.
So that was just kind of the moment that I woke up during high school. And
Yeah.
I was like, this was a mistake.
And I've kind of heard people, you know, say, and this might pertain to you as well, but it's like, oh, you had an emotional experience due to the fact that you were in need, and this is the reason why you believe in God. And I'm like, I mean, maybe, but I think after, you know, just even the friendships that, you know, God has given us and me in my life, like that emotional experience in worship is actually good. I don't know why people are so afraid of emotions. It's like they're actually supposed to send us an emotion to God.
Yep.
And that emotional experience like kick-started my faith life, which, you know, is like I was saying before, I don't know if yours is the same, where it's very much up and down, but then, you know, it's kind of leveling out, and it's like, you know, it's a little bit more sturdy, you know what I mean? But I think some people, I just heard people kind of say that to me lately, and it's like, you know, I don't see how that's bad.
like
that,
the words emotional manipulation.
well, that like you were in desperate need of emotion and you needed some idea to make you feel like, you know, a crutch or some type of.
There's definitely a balance there, but I totally agree with you. I think people are really afraid of like, well, we don't want to be emotionally manipulative, and it's like, well, really, if
wanna be
if
dry and
if
just
it's
like-
adoration, it's like
Yeah.
you're just
Yeah.
you know bringing the blessed sacrament to them, and like anything that happens after that
Right.
is kind of the Lord's will. But I always think of like Jesus calling Paul away from sin. Like, I don't know about you, but I wasn't murdering any people. So if that,
Is
I
this
don't know
where
if
it
you
is
were,
this where
but
mortal sins
Were
come
you
out?
murder?
Yeah.
Were you murdering?
I don't think I
Mortally
killed
sinning?
anyone.
Were you murdering people?
but like when
look like
Jesus
one.
was like, "Yo, Paul, like, stop," and he's like, "All right, yeah."
Yeah.
That-
You know what?
That's how easy it
Don't do
was.
that.
Yeah. And in this story, I'm St.
Biblical.
Paul, by the
Yeah.
way. So,
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Allie?
I think it was a little more. I think it was a little more extreme.
It was a little
and
more
intense.
extreme.
Nope, I think that was it.
Did you guys see the movie Paul?
No.
No, I didn't.
Dude, it's
Is that with Jim
amazing.
Caviezel?
Yeah. It's a little weird to see him not being Jesus.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, I watched it twice in theaters. It's just so cool to see, like, just see it play out live, like him saying, like, the scriptures, like,
Yeah.
live, just beaten and bruised. Because I think we see St. Paul and we're like, oh, he was like, I mean, he touched a piece of cloth and people were healed. And it's like,
Yeah.
he traveled 10,000 miles, but he's also, like, shipwrecked and, like, confused and not perfect. And I love how he boasted in his weakness.
Yeah.
Like what men do that today in any type of like
Yeah.
platform saying they have like, hey, I'm weak. And I actually boast in my weakness. And actually that word boast in Greek and Hebrew means I think well of.
Yeah.
So somehow he thought well of his weakness, and I'm just like, dang, dude, that's a dude
Yeah,
right there.
St. Paul's wild, especially because some people don't like. I have this thing recently where I'm thinking about things that we take for granted because we've just heard them so many times. Like we've just heard
Oh my gosh, yeah.
God is love, or we've heard whatever. Like we've just there are things Shakespeare. We're just like, oh, I know about, or Benjamin Franklin. Like I don't want to study Benjamin Franklin because I feel like I already know about him. I don't know the first thing about Benjamin or George Washington.
I was like, I don't know
Tommy,
anything
like-
about Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah, but
Benny.
you know what I mean. Like we've heard about, they become this other thing because we've heard about them so much.
Yeah.
And so to go back to that and like, okay, well, who was this person?
Yeah.
And Jesus is one of these people that we hear about so much in culture, or people that aren't even Christian feel like they know him.
Every movie says Jesus Christ in
Yeah.
some
Yeah,
capacity.
right, in some capacity. But St. Paul is such a historical character in some ways, not more than Jesus, but like I think like Corinthians, the only reason I know this is because I had to give a talk on this, but I think the book of Corinthians was written in 57 AD, which is just like a couple years after, 20 years after Jesus died. So the fact that here is a eyewitness of the resurrection saying, hey, I know other people that were eyewitnesses of the resurrection that you could go ask ask if they've seen Jesus. And by the way, like I've been imprisoned and I'm still preaching this, and I was shipwrecked, and I did like he's just such a strange historical character in all the letters that he wrote.
Oh yeah,
it's such a fascinating. The other thing I was going to just bring up real quick is I love that the quote by Pope Benedict about faith is not mere intellectual assent, but it's the assent of the intellect, the will, and the emotions, and the whole of the human person to to another person. I don't know, I'm butchering it. But
You did great.
Yeah,
It sounded
I
really
love
good.
that. I love that. I think for me, I had definitely like checked the box of intellectual assent, but had not with emotional or like my will, because I was still like sinning tremendously, even though I was like, no, I know the Catholic Church is right. Yeah. Like, let me go do these horrible things. Yeah. So
Is this before college? This is in college.
It's just kind of all over the place.
Yeah,
Just kind of all
like
over.
right
like,
now.
it's like literally right now.
Realities,
Edmund, have you
sinners.
met Jesus?
Who's that? Yeah.
Just gonna pray with you right now.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Johnny, because this is a Catching Foxes cover podcast,
Yes.
we were gonna do that's
It's
my
a
tribute.
tribute.
It's a tribute podcast.
It's a tribute to Catching Foxes.
tribute
Patreon.com/Catching Foxes.
But
Actually, I think it's CF.
you had some real kind of chintzy,
man, yes.
cute,
They so
kind of
on-
watered down
when was
question
it? It was
from
a
their
few
watered down
days ago.
podcast. Yeah.
Anyways, it was awesome.
Yeah.
They had somebody. They were just doing like audience questions, and one of the questions was first 3 things you would do as Pope.
Okay.
And
Can you explain what the Pope is to people at home? They're
the
listening. that
Pope
aren't
is the
Catholic?
Bishop of Rome.
Okay.
He is
What's a
the
bishop?
A bishop is a priest who has been
What's a priest?
appointed. A priest is a ordained man who lives a life of celibacy.
Okay, what does ordained mean?
Ordained is a right.
Wait, no, can you go with celibacy? What's that?
Celibacy is not getting married. It's remaining chaste and single for your entire life.
Okay.
Single means that you are alone.
So you're saying that all high schoolers who are not married are celibate?
No. So very good clarifying question, Edmund. If you are celibate, if you are committed to a life of celibacy,
We just have a lot of non-Catholics that watch this, I'm
That's
sure.
true. Yeah. So if
I like
that
to
is
break,
you,
like hashtag new evangelization. I like to get outside of the Catholic bubble.
You were just talking about this.
I like to get outside of the bubble, so I don't like to use like
what
technical
does
words.
evangelization mean?
I didn't say that.
Oh,
I think
okay.
you
We need
said
to stay on topic.
that. So what is the first 3 things you would do as Pope?
Yeah, so that was the question, and I've gone around asking everybody this. I think you and I had a talk about this yesterday, but it was so fascinating.
What's the right answer?
Should I go first?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, well, you guys should think of your 3 things now and stick to it no matter what people say.
Okay.
Because I've been wanting to change my answers based on people's responses.
Okay.
but
Sure.
Okay.
I'm not going to change this.
Should we write them down or?
Well, I do want to brag here for a second. This
Okay.
is like a humble brag.
This is a place to brag.
Gomer and me had the same number 1, so I'm just happy about that because he's brilliant.
Aw.
And
Isn't
also
he, like
a guy
kind of
that-
close to you? Why don't you just go hang out with him?
He's in Houston. Gomer, if you're watching this, can we get
Let's
coffee
hang out.
sometime?
He's going to be here for our Advent mission, and we're going to do a
That's
show.
awesome.
So anyone that wants to
I
come,
am
come.
We'll
free
be
that
there.
night.
I'll
Yeah,
fly
yeah. Allie and I will.
Yeah, we'll be there.
I need to
That's
get
fine.
more ports for more
goodness
microphones.
gracious.
'cause
You
this
do.
You
is
can
just
borrow
getting-
my interface. It has
Okay.
8.
All right.
I know
So
audio.
first 3 things you would do.
First
as
3 things. Well,
Pope.
let's say only 3. Do we want to say our 1 and then our 2 and then our 3, or just want all 3?
You're on a bragging
Just give him-
campaign here,
just-
so why don't
just
you
do
just
it.
go?
My number 1, I would take Vigano to lunch.
You would take who?
Vigano, Archbishop Vigano.
Oh.
I would take him to lunch.
Vigano?
Vegano,
Sorry,
Vigano,
I don't like to use
whatever.
words.
It's like oregano.
Vegano, Vigano,
You
whatever
would
you
take
say.
him out to
I would
lunch.
take him out to lunch. I
So,
want to talk
so
to
is this
him.
like you would become Pope tomorrow?
This is like, hey,
You're
you get a
Pope
call
now.
right now. It's like you're
Okay.
Pope, and for me,
So like tomorrow you become
it's
Pope.
like you get ordained. A
Which I
priest,
forget
then
that
bishop.
any lay
lay
baptized male.
person.
Yeah,
Can be a
can
pope.
be
Can be a
called
pope,
up and
technically.
say, "Hey, guess what?
You do have to be ordained a priest
Yeah.
and then appointed a bishop and then appointed
But
bishop.
details.
But you can start
So
as a
those
layperson.
Yeah.
2 things would
That's
have to happen.
terrifying.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
very terrifying.
Good luck."
So that's number 1. I take Vigano,
Out to
whatever.
lunch.
I've heard it said.
Why you want
multiple
to take him
ways.
out to lunch? Just
I wanna talk to him.
That was you and Gomer's number 1?
That was his
the
number 1.
first thing you could think
That was the
of.
very first thing I would
Very
do.
first
for
thing.
sure.
Interesting.
Actually, Gomer said he would remove celibacy for the papal office so he could remain married to his wife, which is pretty smart. So I guess I would do that too. Julie, love you.
But anyway, sorry.
So that number 1, take Vigano to lunch. Number 2,
Where would you guys go, to Gelato or like
probably
pizza?
Chili's?
Okay.
Or
There's
Cece's?
no
Would
Chili's
you
in
drink a
Italy.
beer?
No, he's coming here.
Oh, okay, you would. So you would,
Well, I guess I need to live.
you
in
would
Rome.
go there, become pope,
Chili's.
and then bring Vigano to America to go to a middle class
Like
chain.
one of the most boring
Like,
chains.
yeah, one of the
ever.
most average
Yeah.
cuisines in America.
Everything you guys are
Not
saying
even
makes me
Chipotle.
more
What
sure.
did you like
Chili's.
lager here? Oh, Shiner.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you get
Yeah.
a Shiner?
Well, I'll get him a Shiner.
Yeah.
He likes
Okay,
it.
so let's
funny.
move on to number 2. I hope that's better.
Number 2, I would have some sort of. I think Luke on Catching Foxes said this, but
Oh, your number 2 was Luke's number 2?
no, Luke's,
Get out.
My
Oh,
number 2 was
Johnny.
Luke's number 3, maybe I don't remember, but my number
comparing
2.
yourselves.
Are you using my show to
I
like
swear-
to like
I wanna be on Catching
flirt,
Foxes.
Flirt with
We're
We're
Gomer
all
and
using
Luke?
your show,
Okay,
Edmund.
go.
Number 1, take vegan no to lunch. Number 2, have some sort of bishop reformation where every bishop in the entire world needs to go through this process where they recommit themselves as a bishop, what that means, and the guidelines that the church has on that.
Man, these are all like church crisis related.
Yeah, I mean, it's relevant.
Well,
Okay,
if you
all
get elected tomorrow,
yeah, I mean,
Climate.
it's totally relevant.
Okay, next.
3, I would hire some sort of lay commission to completely redo Vatican finances
The bag. Okay. All right.
and
Okay.
open that floodgate.
Just kick that door open.
Just wide open.
Okay. Interesting.
Next, Edmund, you.
No, I don't want to go.
Allie.
I
got
don't
nothing.
know.
Well, this isn't fun.
I mean,
if
the
only
first
I
thing.
do
Okay,
it.
the first things I thought. I mean, I didn't think church crisis stuff. I just thought like a start a vlog. You know, I just thought like read.
The show would
like
get
something light.
huge.
I just thought
Yeah,
like redesign
the show with Edmund Mitchell.
Yeah.
Pope
Redesign the
Edmund Mitchell.
Vatican
Yeah,
website.
redesign the Vatican website,
Oh,
like-
that's fine. That's another top 3.
That's
Yeah,
low
For
on my
sure,
list.
Have you guys been to Rome?
That's
sure.
low
Yeah,
on my
yeah.
list.
I've never been.
You
Oh.
serious? You want to go in March?
I might go to London in December for fun.
Same thing.
Come.
So I might just
Same.
take a little
It's just-
flight over
yeah,
there.
right
You've been to
there.
London. You've been to Rome.
You can walk there pretty much, right?
Yep. Mhm.
My geography is bad.
You've been to Rome.
But I think the first thing I do is some type of marketing thing, like it's some type of like some type of platform. You know,
what would
I
be the
think
message? Just
Well,
hey,
I
we're
think
cool.
no, I really do not necessarily a vlog, but some type of like here's what's going on. Some type of
A day in the life of the Pope.
could be that.
That
would
would
watch
be that.
that.
Could be
It could be
interesting.
that, but literally some type of something. I know that they were starting to make some type of videos from the Pope, and I
Yeah.
know it gets kind of hairy but I say just videos, like some type of video out
Yeah.
to people.
Totally.
I would also probably,
People are online,
You know what?
so-
I'd hire Johnny to live stream every papal audience.
I'll do it.
Wow.
I'll do
I'd
it. It is
redesign the
already
Vatican
live
website.
streamed, but
The third one is man. I don't know. Yeah. My third one was probably just. It sounds like a cliche, but it would be like evangelistic related, like
Yeah.
gospel. Like I would do some type of
Like the new evangelization.
hashtag. Yeah, I would try to do some type of. I would try to do some type of like. Here is a framework that most dioceses should start
Yeah.
implementing
Yeah.
for a process of evangelization, as opposed to just like here's a bunch of different programs.
Yep.
I don't know, but I don't know how that. But the weird part about thinking about what you do as Pope is you have to honor that Africa is going to handle things differently
Yep.
than Australia.
Right.
So it's really hard, I guess, now that I'm thinking about it, to actually help other than just being holy.
Yep.
Like just trying to be
start
holy.
there.
Yeah, I mean, just
Yeah.
trying to be holy.
That would be my number one.
You know,
That would be
holy.
and if I had
my
a-
number one.
Dang it!
and you know what? And you know what? Thank you, Johnny, for giving me number 4. My number 4 would be to take a hint from John Paul II and just travel literally everywhere.
Yeah.
Because that was so huge.
Go see everybody.
The fact that he did that was like so
Connected.
huge that he just
Number 5, stay alive for a long time.
stay alive for a long time.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I would start.
He also got like capped like a gangster, and the bullet
true.
like
He
went
did.
around his heart, and he attributed
Okay,
it to
do
like
that,
Our
number
Lady.
6.
Yep.
So get shot.
Number
would probably
6,
be
get
my
shot.
number 1.
Get shot.
I think
Yeah.
that would
I
start
could
me
do
out
that.
great.
Okay, so that's your number 1. What would be your number
get
2?
shot, survive.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Um,
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
people be like, "Whoa, that was something supernatural,
Wow.
right?"
Yep.
Number
Testimony.
2,
Church militant would be like, no, he was supposed to die.
Yeah.
yeah, right. Dude, I would honestly, the first thing
Can we say that?
Yeah, we can
2.
say anything. It's my show.
2, I would get rid of the rat trads.
The rat. You would get rid. You would
Yeah.
have an extermination of.
Yes,
How would you
exterminate 'em.
do that?
I would.
Conversation.
I don't
Come
know.
on.
I just said that, and it just came from a
The
deep
line.
place.
The line separating good and evil runs through the heart of man. ALOB. So who is willing? Who is willing to
that's
remove?
good.
Who is willing to remove?
I would just maybe
because
like
all of us. My theory is that all of us have a little rad trad in us somewhere.
Yeah,
What is rad trad for people that don't know what rad trad?
radical traditionalists.
Yeah,
that think that like literally the Latin Mass is the only thing that is proper and good and holy, and that if you do anything outside of Gregorian chant, you're going to hell.
That sounds right.
So my other theory with this is that all movements, religious groups, or whatever have this kind of dynamic. I mean, even politics, you have radical progressives and radical conservatives, and so rad trads in the Catholic Church would be people that are like radically conservative.
Right.
Like we need to go back to 1950.
Well, the Vatican II was from Satan.
Yeah,
and
some people are like borderline, like Vatican II is a heretical council kind of stuff.
I just want them to love people.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we get so caught up in liturgy, and I love the liturgy, but if we get to love our neighbor, it's like the liturgy means nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't really care that much.
Don't
So
go
how
on
would you
Twitter.
get rid of them? Would you? Is that like drone attacks, or would you do?
Yeah,
like, what would you?
shoot.
How would you use that?
Trained eagles.
Trained eagles. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I just want to see
Yeah, I don't know. That would
Maybe
be
just
my
hold
number
a
two.
conference. You'll hold a synod,
Right.
and you'll lure them in with like, we're gonna revamp the liturgy. We need
We're
only
never going to play praise and worship ever again.
yeah, and then you lure them all in. Then you're like,
Yeah.
hey, come here, guys. Hey, like, let's really talk about
You're
this.
donezo. That's
Yeah.
what I would say.
Liturgy is beautiful. So wait, what's
I
your
love
number
liturgy.
3?
I'm trying to think of number 3. I just made kind of all those up on the spot, and that just came from a deep
I know it
place
came
of,
from your heart. Mine kind of did
sense
too.
of
With
prayer.
marketing stuff, I
I'd
feel
say
really
3.
insecure
It's
about
like,
marketing.
yeah, I want to. I mean, the church is like a saint maker, so like, let's just like make saints. How do you make saints? Good question.
Canonize everyone.
Yeah.
Yes,
while they're
if you just
alive.
dude.
Everyone's
Everyone's holy.
saint.
You're all
Anybody who
canonized.
dies.
You're all saints.
Yep,
You're all in.
all saints.
You know what? Here's another one that I would just throw in there. I do also love. I would probably capitalize on just knowing me. This coming from my heart, I would 100% capitalize on the fame to get on Rolling Stone, like to get in
Yes.
every single interview ever, like with non-Catholics, like with,
Yes.
like on Rolling Stone, on whatever, like whatever it is on the biggest platforms.
Yes.
I would
TMZ,
100%. Yes, TMZ.
MTV
ESPN.
Cribs.
You know what? And I'd even do. I'd
That'd be
even go on.
amazing.
Genius,
But you
that's
know
good.
what? If I was the Pope, to be honest, like to just to model humility, I'd probably go on some of like the smallest, lesser known podcasts, like Catching Foxes or Matt Fradd's. I don't know if you've heard of
Yes.
Pints of Equine. Some of like the smallest.
Yeah.
Just to make the little guy have a chance,
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like give him
that's
tons
nice.
of give him
Yeah.
tons of traffic. You know.
I hope they hear this,
I would
they
probably
do.
I'd probably even retweet Father Mike Schmitz a little bit just to give him some more juice.
or maybe
Yeah.
share one of his videos.
yeah.
Just like, hey guys, this guy's
Just
pretty
like
good.
just like stand in the background during one of them.
Yeah.
I'd photobomb
Sit and
everybody.
drink coffee.
Yeah.
In the background.
Man, you-
Okay, so was that 3 or 10? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I hit like, what was the first one?
Something about a
I think
lizard.
something about exterminating people. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty
And we're
Catholic.
back.
It was like the Crusades. you know? I'm ready for a new crusade.
okay, Allie, before ALOB kills someone, I mean,
No, I think one of mine, if I were Pope, would be one of mine was to travel a lot and just be
Yeah.
connected. Because immediately what I went to was like all the things that I would do, but in living in Western, like
Yeah.
the Western, like it's like that's not what these people necessarily.
yeah, like you
live
got to
like.
care
People,
about the
like-
Catholic Church in Tonga.
Right, exactly. So I think of just
That sounds
travel,
amazing.
I know, right?
right, and just get to know people of
Yeah.
all different races and styles,
All
and
different genders, right? Because you do that.
continents. Yeah, like just
Like
one
100
with the
How many
people.
different types of
yeah.
genders
Yeah.
now?
There's a
300?
lot, so get to know all.
How
of
would
them.
you deal with being the first female pope?
Yeah, there'd be confusion.
Yeah, maybe from
I
the rad
think-
trads.
Yeah, a lot. I'd be like,
Well, if they're
guys,
gone,
come on.
Probably
There won't
any
be
of
any
the
problem if they're
trads.
gone.
Even the
I think
non-rad
anyone,
trads.
really. Yeah.
So you travel a lot.
I
what
travel
else?
a lot.
So you have 2 more wishes. What else would you do?
Yeah, I think I'd look at the Vatican website, just how we communicate.
Yeah.
I love that. I would be on Twitter still.
Yeah.
I'd probably just take over that account.
Can like the Vatican
Yeah.
like font be just your doodle?
Oh.
yes.
Can it be that, please?
Yes.
That's a little
Your
I know.
Etsy shop would be.
That's a little
I
self-serving.
think everybody
Yeah.
wants that.
I'm the Pope, so
Okay.
please. Thank you. Yes. Just make it more visually because we're all, I mean,
Yeah.
you said everything is going online.
Would you drive your own vehicle, or would you have someone drive
Oh,
you
yeah.
around?
I'm just one with the people. I drive my own vehicle.
I drive a moped,
Oh, that's
have
not-
one already.
Oh,
and
no,
that's how I would
not-
get shot. That's how I
Yeah.
would get shot too.
Oh,
It's just
easily.
like one
Okay, so
tool.
you're going to travel. You're going to fix the website. What's your third wish, or what's the third thing you do as Pope?
You appoint all of us as your.
Yeah, I would
your
hire
nuncios?
all of you guys.
You're
Yeah.
not allowed to hijack
Yeah.
her.
No, that's what you would do, right?
Yeah.
I read your mind.
Okay,
What would I do for you as Pope? As my Pope?
You'd be
Not as much as I would do.
you would be my
saying.
woodworker. You would
Okay.
make all of the new crucifixes for the churches.
Great.
For all the
And
churches.
for St. Peter's. Let's
Perfect.
You're gonna
start
be
there.
busy.
Yep. Like what, Bernini, he's in there, right? And like
Yeah.
all of those. And Gutierrez is in there.
Perfect.
Wow.
So
Wow.
you'd be the woodworker.
Can my plaque be above his?
Yes, always.
Allie, what name would you pick?
Would you pick a male name?
If I was the first female pope, I'd probably pick a female name.
Yeah.
Probably a
doctor
good
of the
idea.
church.
A doctor? You go with a doctor?
Catherine.
Catherine,
Like a Therese, you know.
Yeah.
Pope Therese.
Yeah.
Yes, because
got
one
a
of my
nice ring
favorite
to
saints
it.
is Mother Teresa. So, although it'd be funny because
Papa
Saint
Therese.
Catherine
Papa
was
Therese.
like advocate of the papacy. So I don't know how she'd feel about me being a pope. So
Well,
amazing.
you
Little
have some
sticky.
time to.
a little sticky.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be funny when like
Yeah.
Catholics listen to this and they think we're serious, and the rat
Yeah.
trads,
Yeah.
the rat trads are still alive.
I have no
so, like,
desire to be a pope.
they're gonna get her.
Okay,
Yeah,
no,
they're
but
gonna get her.
okay, but this is
You're
real.
gotten. You're gotten.
So-
and we'll talk to you guys next week.
No, this is real. We were talking about in school. It was in one of our Catholic studies classes. In school, we were talking about. I think it was
Gender?
the diaconate. No, it was about the diaconate and like desire and like men and women and like stuff like that and desires and like. I was just thinking. I don't know how it would happen if a woman did have a desire, because I know women have desires to be priests.
Women
like
do
I
have
know
desires.
that to be priests specifically.
Common misconception that women don't have desires.
Yeah, no, we do.
I need you to take my
specifically
name
to
off
be
this podcast.
priests. And I was just thinking, like, I do not 100% have no desire to be a priest.
Wow.
Like that, I have no desire. So
Yeah.
I just wonder, like, what does that? Like, that's just
What does that feel like?
Yeah, what does that to know that you cannot be?
It's like having a crush on
priest.
the hottest girl in school, but
And
she's
you
dating the
can't.
quarterback, and you play the tuba.
How
that
is
what happened to you?
how
Wait,
is
but
that
you
the
can't-
I
same?
don't want to
Wait,
talk
wait.
about it.
Wait, but you guys, I'm sure we could relate to aspects of someone else's job or someone else's
Sure.
life that doesn't
Sure.
necessarily encompass the whole thing.
Right.
Like, yeah, man, I'd be interested in making tacos. I don't want to run a taco truck, right?
Sure.
Like, I have no desire to run a taco truck.
But I'm sure there are women out there who
I want to know what they put in the tacos. though.
desire.
You know?
Who desire to be priests?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know that that necessarily means that they also desire to be a man.
Well,
Or to be
no,
pope.
no.
Any good priest I know doesn't want to be pope. Or bishop. Any good priest I know doesn't want to be a bishop.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny, you were talking about the other day about aspects of being a woman that you are attracted to.
Was I? Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
you don't want to be a
course.
woman. You don't have the desire to be a woman, but there are things that women do that you wish you could do. Remember? Like, what are some
Yes.
aspects? like you value the dignity of the woman, the female gender, right, Johnny?
This is terrifying.
Oh, of course.
Now, but what are things that women?
could only go well.
What are things that women do that like you're attracted to that thing that a female can do, but you don't necessarily want to be a woman? Like, for instance,
Yeah, please give
Getting
me a for instance.
Please give me a for instance.
like matching all of your clothes, even if you're like half awake.
Do we?
Or throwing together a room with IKEA furniture on a budget.
I'm really good at
Or how about
can already do that.
that. Yeah.
Do you see the room you're sitting in?
correctly addressing a ton of wedding invitations, like stuff like
That's
that.
true.
Like
That's
those are.
true.
I feel like all women have incredible handwriting.
That's true.
I've
Allie,
the
do you have good
worst.
handwriting?
pretty sexist.
Have you ever written anything?
You probably
before?
do. No, don't lie. You're being modest.
I just do want to
like
give
my
you guys a 5-minute warning until we have to go.
Okay,
to
we have
mass.
to go to mass.
Oh,
What's
nice.
mass again, Johnny?
A mass is the celebration of the Eucharist. The Eucharist is the
Eucharist?
body.
Oh,
blood,
I love it.
soul,
I love it
divinity
when
of
I love it
Jesus
when
Christ.
Catholics, like, I used to do this all the time. I was so like passionate about my faith. So anytime that like a non-Catholic would ask me about my faith, I would go way over the top in explaining it in the most grotesque
Yeah.
language. Be like, "What is mass? It's the holy sacrifice of the lamb." Where we are able to eat
lamb.
Jesus' flesh and blood. It's
Ever read
amazing.
Scott Hahn.
Yeah.
The pinnacle.
Lamb Supper.
I want to start from the
summit.
beginning, but have you heard of Lumen Fide? Let's talk about.
Can we start with the fact that Jesus gives us his flesh and blood every Sunday? It's amazing.
Wait, Johnny, I thought it was just a symbol. I mean, wasn't Jesus just like, I'm the gate, I am the vine.
Oh,
I
he
mean, he's
softballed
not
you.
really
I'm
the
so
vine.
glad you just asked that.
But is
yeah.
wasn't he just like, you guys should eat my flesh because that'd be kind of fun to say.
Yeah.
you know?
Softball. right?
Yeah, no, you should read. What is that?
John
John 6? You should read John 6.
But like, how do we know the Bible isn't just like the telephone game? Like they just from
I think
from
the
generation
Bible
to
is
generation,
kind
they
of
just
just
made it
like
up.
it's all symbolic. You take it as you want. Like nothing
That
has
kind of
meaning.
sounds like heresy.
This is derailing real fast.
Well, it would be heresy if I was being serious. So yeah,
that's
we'll take that back.
But that's
Right.
what postmodernism really contributed to our whole worldview of literary critique, is that there are just thousands and maybe infinite interpretations of any
Yeah.
one sentence, right? So
Yeah.
actually, there probably isn't any right interpretation of anything, and why are we even talking? Like, there's
And nothing's actually true. Like, our words
Yeah.
don't actually influence
Yeah.
truth. It's just
I mean,
whatever
all
we
of this,
feel.
all of this is just like a construct of my.
I actually watched.
my
Does anyone
narrative.
watch TED Talks?
Yes, heck
I get
yes.
lost in them. Okay, and this one of them was like literally this guy believes that, which I think has some scientific validity, but everything that we are looking at is a confined and controlled hallucination.
Yeah, well, Elon Musk really believes that it is probabilistic that we are already in a simulation. I love talking about this.
Did I really just touch your knee? I don't
Who
know.
knows?
Are
Have you
guys
seen the
best
one that?
friends?
No, I love.
They believe two universes are existing at the same time.
Who?
And
Who says this?
There's a TED Talk where it's an alternate dimension is existing coherently with us at the same time. We can't see them; they can't see us, but we live like perfect complementary
That
lives.
makes total sense to me. That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I also met a dude once that believed he's been in 4 different dimensions, and he was a spiritual Jew,
Oh.
and he's seen Jesus.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Like
That was in
Interstellar.
Houston Airport.
Was that John Travolta? I think
I
it was
don't
John
know.
Travolta.
No, it was Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar.
Was it Matt and Frad? Sounds like something he would say.
Could have been.
I spent 6 months with Matt Frad. Welcome. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Amen.
Well, that's all the time we have on the show.
Yeah, do your 3, Nick.
Oh, yes.
You have 2 minutes to do your 3.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
I were
yeah.
Pope, seminary reform, and actually,
Oh,
that
good
one's actually
one.
really
Oh.
serious. Seminary
Good
reform
one.
for like actually
Yeah.
how to run a parish, all those other things.
Yeah.
Anyway, second thing would be. Have you guys seen JP2 in the batting cages?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would do more stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
relatable to like youth. Like
Yeah.
they see their Pope playing football, rugby,
Oh,
or
that's
something like
nice.
that.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Third thing that I would do: hire Jackie Chan to train my Swiss Guard
Yeah.
and how to fight
For
and defend
sure.
me. But they wouldn't be armed with like swords or
Puffies.
knives or guns.
Yeah.
They'd
What would they be armed with?
Like
Their
the things
bare
Jackie
hands.
fought with, which is
Like refrigerators,
chairs and
bats.
tables.
Full
They would just have
refrigerators.
an
Mother-in-laws.
Yep.
right next to them.
Yeah.
Newborn
good.
babies.
And that's it. That's all I would.
That was really
that's all
good.
What would be your
Great.
Pope name,
That was
Nick?
really good.
Johnny.
No
Okay.
way.
You heard it here
It would be
first.
No
That's
way.
all the time we have on the
Guys,
show.
Okay, wait,
Thanks so much for
ALOB,
coming.
we're about to go, but this is the part of the show where the guest, or I guess all of your guests, but the
Thank
guest
you.
you can plug something, or you can tell someone to go do something. Don't tell one person to go do something.
Right.
It's like, hey Tim,
Dear Bob Rice.
go
Yeah,
forget
dear-
yourself.
Be my friend.
Be my
But I mean,
friend.
like, but like, if you want to
Johnny's
plug,
friend.
like, I don't know, what do you have some closing thoughts for anything on the internet?
This is
Do you want
so
people to buy your
confusing.
album? Do you want people to follow you on
I mean,
Instagram?
I don't have any social media.
Okay.
I have a flip
Probably
phone,
Oh.
which has been dope. Watch this.
Is it a
feels-
razor? Is that a razor?
Hey.
No, it's worse than a razor.
Ooh, that's nice.
I don't think there's any plug. If you want to check out some of my music, you can go to alobmusic.com.
Okay.
I do praise and worship stuff.
ALOBmusic.com.
Yeah, you can check it out.
Nice.
That's about it. And I think
for
actually
doing
more
this.
people should listen to this. So if I have any influence in the world, you should listen to this podcast because
You
that
have no
was
idea what this
awesome.
podcast is.
I have
you
no
go.
idea what's happening, but this was
he's
This
great.
is
on
the
it.
most organized podcast we've ever done.
I think people should listen to it. If,
Yeah.
you're-
It's
if
like
people
catching
are watching
foxes.
this, tell your mom about it.
Well,
okay?
we're just so hashtag blessed that Catching Foxes is out there doing real podcasting.
Yep.
This is a tribute
Yep.
to them. So just go, thanks for being on,
Seriously.
ALOB.
Go
Wow.
listen to Catching Foxes.
We gotta go to mass
I
here.
need to go
So
to the bathroom.
thanks. Here we go.
Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, let's redo all of that after.
All right.